Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic, farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
That more contagious coronavirus variant, first found in the UK, now dominates here in the US.
It is the most common lineage, period.
And it's fueled an upswing of new cases and hospital admissions. Just 5 states account for 43% of all new cases this past week. But the nation's daily death toll still falling. Why? The CDC says that's down to vaccinations, particularly among the elderly. Last night, a bold prediction from the White House on the vax front.
By the weekend, half the adults in the country will have had their first shot.
Over-optimistic? This morning, confirmation. Yeah, it was.
Sometime likely this month, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to get to about half.
CNN analysis shows some states like New York might vaccinate all willing adults by mid-June. Some other states, like Georgia, might be the end of the year. The president remains cautious.
We aren't at the finish line.
So where is that finish line?
We'll know it when we see it. It'll be obvious as the numbers come down rather dramatically. It's on the way. Hang in there.
I will be going to karaoke as often and as much as I can.
This 95-year-old veteran COVID survivor, Bon Jovi fan, is ready.
What's that one about the cowboy and a motorcycle? Wanted, dead or alive, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you saw in the video, the stories are coming out in an abundance of how young the coronavirus patients are this time around with the UK variant. And it is rising and rising by the day. So, they don't quite understand, here in the US, they don't quite still understand COVID. So whenever they see these kind of occurrence, they're always astonished and it's a mystery. So this UK variant is now dominating everywhere in the country. So it's B117 strain hitting young people particularly hard. And these young people coming into the emergency room, many of them are having respiratory issues and fatigue and body aches. And this was not seen back in 2020 as much. We are seeing these increases in younger adults, most of whom have not yet been vaccinated. Now, doctors say many young people are suffering COVID-19 complications they didn't expect. So you don't know when the UK variant is no longer dominant what some of the others may do, and you don't know what age group that might hit in the future. So it's time to ditch the belief that only older adults and people with pre-existing conditions are at risk of severe COVID-19. Wow, I'm surprised they didn't mention Black people. They didn't mention it. Okay. So viruses mutate all the time. Most mutations aren't very important, but if the mutations are significant, they can lead to dangerous new variants of a virus. And make no mistake, this UK variant is definitely more dangerous than the virus that hit us back in March of 2020 when everything was locking down. The B117 variant has mutations that allow it to bind more to cells. This is what Dr. Jonathan Reiner, a CNN medical analyst and professor at medicine. He's a professor at the George Washington University. Think of this mutation as making the virus stickier. So it sticks to cells. Coronavirus latches onto cells with its spike proteins and the spike surrounding the surface of the virus. There is a little difference in the way the B17 spike protein holds that make it stick to your cells a little more easier, said emergency room doctor Megan Rainey, director of Brownspan Life Center for Digital Health. With the original strain of novel coronavirus, you need a certain inoculum, a certain amount of virus in order for the infection to basically stick. Is one viral particle enough to make you sick? No, probably not. On the other hand, sometimes a massive one can kill otherwise a healthy person. And we've seen that in healthcare workers. So these new variants, particularly the UK variant, seems to be stickier. So the notion is that it's more contagious, so to speak, because potentially you don't need as much of it to stick. Wow. What this means in real life, you can be in a place and maybe have a briefer exposure and have a smaller exposure, more casual exposure, and then get infected, Reiner said. And because B117 is stickier, you may indeed have a higher viral load. If you have a higher number of viral parcels in the respiratory tract, then that's going to be easier to spread from one person to another. So that's what they're saying. That's another reason why it is so important for young people, and they're just driving home the vaccine. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen many people over the week, the several weeks actually, that got the jab and still got sick. And I have a story out of Michigan where 3 people got both jabs and they died. They died weeks later after getting COVID. They got COVID and died. And remember, they claim this was going to prevent death. Well, it didn't for those 3 people. The reason for this might be as simple as the older population in the country has either been exposed to the virus, killed by the virus, or now vaccinated against the virus. So they are claiming more than 78% of people age 65 and older have received at least one jab. 60% have been vaccinated according to the CDC. I don't know if I fully believe that. In March, New Jersey saw a 31% jump in COVID-19 hospitalizations among young adults ages 20 to 29. The state commissioner said, and 40 to 49, they saw a 48% increase in hospitalizations. It's bad in New Jersey. New Jersey is one of those states, if you look on a COVID map, New Jersey is in the red. And it's been in the red for several weeks now. So when you say, oh, well, you know, people aren't going to the hospital as much, they sure are here. They are here. And the UK variant is dominating in this state. Rainey said she also noticed a stark change in who's getting hospitalized. This has been kind of a gradual increase in proportion of folks who are younger over the last couple of months, she said, citing data from COVIDnet, which tracks cases from more than 250 hospitals in 14 states. I'm going to have to check that website out, COVIDnet. Okay, it's COVID-net. So I'm going to check that out. Looking at the last week of December 26th or January 2nd, age 65 plus, I would say 3,000 hospitalizations. And then everything else together is 3,000. More than 50% were 65 plus. By March 27th, it was about 1/3 ages 18 to 49, about 1/3 ages 50 to 64, and about 1/3 65 plus, Rainey said. As an emergency room doctor, Rainey said she regularly sees young, previously healthy patients struggle with coronavirus. I see at least a few people on every ER shift that I work who are there because they're having persistent trouble breathing or other side effects as a result of COVID-19, she said. Rainey said she generally defines young people as those under 50. But no matter which age cutoff you use right now, we're seeing more B117 than in older variants. We're certainly seeing it more in 20s and 30s as well, she said. And people in their 20s and 30s are less likely to be vaccinated and more likely to be out and about. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, our young people are the ones getting it the most. And, and I remember, and I can't remember the subscriber's name. One of my subscribers said they had a son 20 years old and he's already had it twice. And you're right. When you go out, you certainly do see a lot of young people. I know I did. I mean, I went out on an errand yesterday and I did see an awful lot of young people out and about. So that is very true. And, not to mention a lot of these young people are working jobs and contracting the virus as well. So they're not all out there having a good time. Many of them are working. And because they're exposed a lot to the public, that's another reason why they are getting it. But y'all, please tell me what you think. And if you're in that age range and you're one of my subscribers, please be careful out there. Please be careful. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.